Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LEC. I am joined here by Upset, Hilly, my old homies. You know, I'm excited to interview them. First and foremost, Upset coming back. How does it feel? Are you excited?
Yeah, it feels good. 4 good days of practice I've had so far with the team, so a lot of time.
Lovely, lovely.
So yeah, exciting.
And the other side, Mad Lions, of course, you guys, the G2 was rough. Have you guys bounced back? You feel ready to play again?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot from the finals, and we're doing better in practice, so I'm pretty confident that we can win today.
That's lovely. The thing is, with this format, you guys might only face each other one time in this split, so this game is a very, very big deal. So I'm going to ask you both the question. Considering you played together for 2 years, what is the information that you communicated to your teammates, as much as you can share coming into this match about the other party? We start with you, Elias.
Well, I told him that when people tell Hilly to go in, not go in, he really wants to go in. So we have to hope that the enemy team is saying Hilly, don't go in, and then we can punish maybe the aggression from Hilly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And Hilly, same question?
Well, when it comes to champion pool, I feel like we know each other from inside and out, so it's very easy to draft. Or maybe he has something prepared in his pocket.
My Cho'Gath is...
The Senna.
But yeah, when it comes to like what he might do in game, we also kind of know. So
I'm actually screwed.
Yeah, he's actually screwed.
You got to figure it out.
He knows everything.
First game,
no one knows what Hilly's doing, even if you play with him. So
yeah,
that's a big advantage.
Not even myself.
I'm going to throw another question at you guys.
Yeah.
Considering you are now partnered up with a different player, I want you guys to speak for your player, how your teammate is going to be the difference maker coming into this match. How about we start with you, Hilly, this time?
I mean, he will not, but I'll carry him.
I like that. How about you, Elias?
Yeah, I'm more worried about Hilly, definitely, but me and Kaiser, I think we have the same same language. So
yeah, that's true, that's true.
I have played 4 days with him, so I'm not sure yet of all our synergy, how much we developed so far, but he's pretty good, yeah.
Okay. It's important that you guys make use of this match, because maybe you play this best of one and then you avoid each other. Maybe you play each other in the final. That would be exciting. I want to give you an opportunity to say some fighting words coming into this one. You guys are right next to each other. You have history, but coming into this match, it's a very important match, the first match of the game. Give me some fighting words, Elias.
I don't know. I have no bad words for Hilly.
Then give him some love then.
Okay. I hope you flash in and hit some good engages, but you still lose.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think whoever wins today, I'll
the better player forever.
I'll not be too sad if he won. I'll put it that way. And of course, I'll be more happy if we win, but I'll be very happy for him. So, yeah.
Okay, I feel the same way.
Happy for myself.
I wish you both best of luck,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
This has been lovely. It's good to see you both. I'm so happy to see you in competition, and I'm so happy to see you flourish, Hilly, in your new team. I know that Upset will do the same. With that being said, gentlemen, you guys have to do preparation. I have to toss. I don't know who's on the other side, but we send it to Sjokz apparently. Enjoy.
I enjoyed that so much. That was so wholesome. I mean, Yamato's a great interviewer.
Oh, he is.
Gotta say, the outfit really sells it.
Yeah, and look, he got them to leak some sweet draft notes. We know the Cho'Gath is gonna be a huge prio pick now today. What a shock!
That was so wholesome. I love it, and it gave us a great chance to kind of set up this matchup that we have in front of us, Vitality versus Matt. And I think it goes for everyone here on the desk. So happy that Upset is back. Upset is too good of a player not to have a spot on the team. There's some other wonder involved, but I mean, I'm really happy that he's back.
I mean, when I was thinking about yesterday, last split we had in winter as well, of course, I was so hyped about the likes of Samira because I love the aggression. I was like, there's 2 players I can see do this. One of them would have been Hansama, and the other one at the time was on the bench. It was Upset. I am so happy to have this AD carry back in our league because he's not afraid to be aggressive. He's not afraid to go for the scaling options. He was by far one of the best AD carries we had in 2022, and the fact that he was on the bench was absolutely criminal. I'm so happy to see that he's finally unleashed again.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he was the best AD carry in 2022, and that lane was the best all year long, playing back with Fnatic. So seeing him return now with Kaiser, another sport that's been at the top of the table in the past, that is an instant powerhouse 2 versus 2 that is going to be challenging the very top.
Talk to me about Upset in the context of this Vitality. Maybe first the question, you talked about aggression. Hansama is, of course, top of mind, but do you think they are the only 2 that can play that to perfection? And what is that boon going to bring to Vitality?
Do you mean like in terms of the AD carries of playing aggressive? Yeah, no, I don't think that the only one doing it, but I think they are the most likely to do it and the more prone to actually feel like they want to do it as well. Because you see AD carry players, some of them don't mind playing a weak side. Carzzy is one of those players who's actually really good to just scale into the game and find his footing there. But Upset can be the kind of AD carry that says, I want to win lane. I'm not losing my tower. I'm getting your tower instead, and we're rotating the map around me. And sometimes having an AD carry like this who wants to be the star is incredibly necessary.
Yeah, and that was kind of the Fnatic MO back when he was on the team, like hard playing through bot lane, making sure that 2 versus 2 is going to be able to run away with the game. So yeah, I see a world where we just see a huge bot side focus headed in today's match.
Do you think that's the key for Vitality in general as well? I think we're looking at them in the context of, okay, get to those playoffs. For F's sake, you have the team for it. And would it be smart for them to invest in that in terms of their strategy going forward with the strength that Kaiser and Upset can bring? Or should you maybe not do that because you have 3 strong lanes?
I think this will end up being a much more bot-focused team than it was perhaps during the winter split. Like, Photon was the strongest top laner in LEC in winter, but I also think that unless you're like going for like the hard counter matchups where you need like maybe a little bit more of guidance in the early game to not get focused down, I think you can leave him on top lane. He's going to be perfectly content on his own because he was also one of the strongest team fighting top laners as well, always finding angles to re-engage into the fights. That was something that worked really well for him. So I think let Photon do his thing, make sure the spot lane hits the ground running.
Yeah, I agree, because I think what you're really looking at here is the potential of what Vitality can be. I think the easiest approach right now is just say, we play bot side. Photon, you're good individually in the top side. Once we come 14 minutes and we overload the map, that's where we start playing top. But outside of that, in the future, this can be a team that develops themselves into the fact that we are bot side, then we can play top side, then we can be mid. But it's so hard with all the potentials.
We're so excited about Vitality again. It's happening again. We'll see. We ran out of time. We didn't even talk about Mad yet. The casters, I'm sure, can introduce us. Of course, they had a phenomenal split in winter, just losing that last match to G2.
Agreed. 100%. Sjokz. Okay, you can't hear me now. I wasn't sure, guys. I was like waiting. Do I keep talking? Can you see my mouth moving? But nothing.
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. We're kind of easing back into it. Yep. Mad don't have to ease back into it. They have to go full steam ahead because while it was a fantastic season, fell flat in the finals, and I think we're waiting to see what the final form of Mad is going to look like because they have to show us more, sadly. You need to win. You need to find that W at the end of the season. Of course, this is just the first step on that road. So for now, we'll just see what form they're coming in at as we get ready for Vitality versus Mad Lions.
Here we go. It's been half a year since we've seen Upset here in the LEC. That man on your screen, we saw the stats from the analyst desks first and everything. Looked like one of the most dominant AD carries, but on the other side is Mad Lions, our second place team from winter.
Yep. Former teammates facing off. If this were a finals, we would, you know, talk about brother killing brother. But it's not. It's like the start of the season. So we had that really great interview with YamatoCannon. Obviously, it's lighthearted for now when you're at the start of the season. It is only 9 games to qualify for those best of 3s. But for today, at least, I think optimism for both sides. We'll see what the draft strategy is going to be. Rakan hitting the bench. This is something that has been just rising in popularity, especially in the LCK.
Yeah.
It looks very, very powerful.
And Hylissang is known for his Rakan, right? I think it's DRX in the LCK that's just set the trend for Rakan 1-2. I think that the ranged AD carry supports that have been nerfed with things like the Grave and the support item mean that blind picking the champ comes a little bit easier. And when you first pick things like Lucian and Varus, it becomes a lot more tailored and Zeri as to what support you're going for. So it's a bit harder to go for those Nautilus lanes, those Leona lanes that just straight up punish it. We saw Gala play Kaiser in the LPL today and got a pentakill. So maybe we'll see a little bit of Kaiser in this league. I think Upset's no stranger to that champ.
Absolutely is not one of his definitely most played overall, alongside champions like Ezreal. We'll see what the priority is. Ashe still going to hit the bench, still a relatively powerful pick. I think the biggest sadness for me about this matchup is we have 2 of the best top laners going head-to-head, but I just want them to pick stuff like Ornn so we can watch bot lane. And that's the conflict that I'm struggling with is like, yeah, I would love to watch a skill matchup top lane, but then how am I going to also watch bottom lane at the same time?
Yeah, they're 2 incredibly talented top laners, and I think looking at Vitality, on paper, the individuals of Photon and Upset, these are the 2 best side lanes you could ask for in the entire league. So Perkz and Bo need to make sure they're playing towards both those side lanes. Another first pick Gragas here in the LEC, which will be flex between the top side, right? It can go mostly mid and jungle, can also go top if something like Jax is blind picked early on in the draft. but a lot of bot lanes are up here. Things like the Lucian, the Zeri, the Aphelios, which has been rising priority a little bit in Europe too. We'll see which direction they opt in for.
Aphelios, obviously still a really solid scaling pick, does bring some utility to the table. Thresh pairing always feels good, I think, when you're going to pick it up, something like a Lulu as well, even with the hits to the ranged item. But want to see what direction they're going to go for, because this is a champion that when it fall behinds, yes, it can still provide that, that gravitum slow, some engage threat, but definitely want to see more focus on a dominant 2v2, given how explosive both these lanes can be.
It struggles a little bit in the team fights. We saw Crowny in the last game, just as soon as they get on top of you, it's just impossible to move whatsoever. Lee's in there for Elyoya, looking forward to what kind of playmaking he can bring out. Vitality now, it's Upset. Is he going to go for a Caitlyn Lux lane? Just try to push as much as possible, call all resources. I mean, that's what we saw in teams like Fnatic, just pick an explosive bot lane or a bot lane that can push and call your team down there. And I think that's a direction that they need. When you pick a champion like Caitlyn or something like Jace, these are lanes you need to play towards, and that's a pushing lane.
And this composition from Vitality controls space so well. You've got Gragas cast for engage or disengage, you've got traps, you've got Heimer turrets. If Mad Lions don't have a massive range advantage, it is going to be so hard to get into these team fights. A little bit of a Malzahar hover. Just checking if Nisqy's staring at you. No, it wasn't for you. Just had to double check.
Just intently looking at me.
Just intently staring at you.
Just like trying to call me out there. No, it looks like Aphelios Thresh will be the lock-in. Wow. Aphelios Thresh Lee Sin. That's some kind of like season 10-esque.
I mean, if we swapped Aphelios with like a Tristana, this would be season 3.
Yeah, it's nice to see things like Lee Sin and Thresh back in the meta. A lot more playmaking, and Thresh is always kind of looked at as a pick comp style. His team fight might not be that strong, because in raw Dragon stare downs, you can't really just hit a straight up hook on the backline. But when it comes to face checking bushes, controlling the map, Thresh is exceptional at looking for those picks. So we'll see how they control it. Vitality looking at pushing lanes, Mad Lions looking at picks. We'll see how the draft unfolds, but I think that Gragas likely, I mean, of course he'll go into the top side, but I wouldn't be surprised to see another tank come out for Vitality. Something like a Cassante could be high prio for both these teams.
I mean, you've got backline, you got a lot of damage already. I totally get what you're saying. I want to see more power on the side of Mad Lions, just because I'm a little bit concerned about how the Aphelios Thresh is going to fare in the laning phase against the Caitlyn Heimer. Of course, anytime we see fragile, or Caitlyn lanes in general, in EU, it's kind of like a prove-it situation. I don't think Caitlyn is OP until you prove that you're the kind of player that can make it work, because we've seen so many Caitlyn lanes fall apart. But a Tristana ban, targeted presumably at Perkz.
Yeah, that makes me think of Twisted Fate. Don't think Nisqy's going to pull out a Twisted Fate on 4. I mean, Twisted Fate Lee Sin is like the iconic pick comp. That's really just doubling
Twisted
down.
Fate Lee Sin Thresh,
it's doubling down on single target damage, looking for these kind of picks around the map. I don't think it's something he'll blind pick. You'll go up against something like Syndra or even Azir. It's just really hard to play the game. But just taking away that pushing power in mid, we'll see what Mad Lions pick up here. There's no real flexes available. It's a bit difficult to go something like a Kali. Things like Syndra and Ahri pair really well with Lee Sin. Anything with the kind of kill pressure in mid, so he can play around it with single target damage CC works quite nicely.
Ooh. Wondering what Bo's going to round this out with, if it is Cho'Gath now coming in. We've gotten used to seeing it in the bottom lane, Guma, the Cho'Gath enthusiast, but of course now locked in for somewhere. It could go top, Cho'Gath mid. What's your read?
I expect it to go top, but I'll hold my breath. I think they're blind picking this Cho'Gath because of the Sylas ban. I think it'll be a bit crazy to just blind this when something like Sylas is up. There's a Darius for Photon. Wow, we talked about top side maybe being a bit safer, but they're opting into 2 volatile side lanes. I mean, the Darius can kind of play weak side depending on how the draft goes. And Perkz is going to be the first one in Europe to pull out the Aurelion Sol as well.
Ooh, love to see it. We can talk more about the Aurelion Sol in the game. Of course, AP heavy composition. That's why they've opted to go for the Darius here, I think, is to balance it out a little bit with more AD. But complete Aurelion Sol rework, if you haven't been playing the game much, try him out. Honestly, really crazy champion.
Yeah.
But now the final pick here, Mad Lions debating.
Looks like it's going to be Cho'Gath mid, actually, if they're going to go for something like the Gnar into Darius, play it safe. I mean, Cho'Gath into Darius sounds a bit horrible to play that lane. Feels like you're going to have to farm with things like the Q.
Sounds like he ghosts at you and you die.
Yeah, you just die. I mean, melee matchups for Darius is where he shines. So going to go for something like the Gnar, probably some plated steel caps first item to play safe for Chasy. But I think, as much as I wanted to say eyes on Upset in the Caitlyn lane and seeing if he gets the push and how the 2v2 goes,
Perkz is kind of stealing the spotlight.
We've got an Aurelion Sol, we've got a Cho'Gath mid, there's a Darius in the game as well, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of kills this game. These are skirmish-heavy champions, roam-heavy champions, a lot of melee champions that want to fight on the top side, that want to get the push, and the only way they can get the push is fighting for it. The Cho'Gath's going to have to tank the Aurelion Sol damage to get the wave in, and then Bo could be there, so supports are everything this game. I think Hylissang getting around the map, Kaiser getting around the map is going to be so important in keeping these solo lanes pushed in, getting deep vision, finding enemy jungle is going to be so crucial. And
we were ready to talk a lot about the AD matchup because it is Upset returning to the stage, but as you said, I think supports are going to have to be the center of attention here. Vitality versus Mad, of course, both teams looking to draw first blood. Vitality, we heard from Upset on the podcast, haven't had a lot of time to practice yet together, but we'll see what level they come in at, knowing that they're going to grow a lot over the next few weeks as they get their synergies ironed out, as they get more time to play together. Mad Lions, of course, have had the luxury of an entire split. So if we look past the compositions, we just look at the teams, the experience, and the results, Mad Lions should be the favorites here, but a lot of curveballs in the draft could shake things up.
Definitely could. These are two teams we expect to be fighting at the top of the table. See if Vitality can bounce back from that playoffs in winter. I think we're about ready to jump into the game, see how it plays out. Mad Lions with a pick comp, Vitality with a lot of pushing lanes, a lot of volatility on these side lanes.
Brand new picks. Will they work? I hope so, because I love seeing them. Here we go, Vitality versus Mad, on to the Rift. Bo Gragas jungle versus Lee Sin.
In Dark Harvest as well, that's the solo queue rune. You normally think of Gragas with Predator, but Dark Harvest has been rising in priority. My question is, what skin does Nisqy have? Does he have Gentleman Cho'Gath? Up you go. He does.
He does.
He knows.
There it is.
He knows the Cho'Gath skins.
Is there any reason why that was your primary question?
It's just the voice lines of it. They're just so good.
Nom.
It's just so... What's the word?
Is it special for you?
Fancy.
Yeah.
Extra British. You gotta get it in here.
I was gonna say extra British. I was like, for me, as an American, it's like super special. You know, when that skin came out, I was like, great. You've probably heard people actually talk like that, so I just wasn't sure if it was as special.
Wait, people actually talk like that?
Like when Broloff came out, it wasn't that cool for me because I met people and know people who talk like that.
Talk exactly the same.
Yeah, so I thought it would be more special in the UK, but not sure.
No, it is extra special to hear a nice British voice in the comms. I think it's also on like the Chinese client. I think Gentleman Cho'Gath is in English as well. So it's kind of funny to hear that in the LPL. Interesting thing to note here, Bo's just warded Elyoya's red. The awkward thing for him is normally as a jungler, because you haven't placed your ward down, you would base, get sweeper, give your laners level 2 on the first wave, because you just sweep out that ward, but you can't. You're playing Lee Sin. Starting sweeper on Lee Sin just kills any of your early game pressure because you don't have that ward jump. But both junglers starting on Raptors. Gonna do some kind of Raptors Red Crux or Raptors Crux Red, I expect, and we'll see which direction they play for. I'm expecting Elyoya to go towards the bot side.
Yeah, and of course, keeping our eyes on the jungle pathing and our eyes out for early action. For now, talking a bit about the mid lane, because we're seeing two champions that you maybe haven't seen in a long time. Perkz pulling out the first ASOL in more than 1,700 days. It was June 2018. I think it was probably Caps who played it last, just guessing
Just
there.
off the top of your head like that?
Just off the top of my head. I think he was the only ASOL enthusiast. We're not NA. You know, we don't have the hoo-hee.
Good old Caps. Yeah, I remember Caps when he was playing things in solo queue. When Aurelion came out, he just skyrocketed through the ladder.
That was, of course, a completely different champion, though. So this has basically never been played in the LEC.
And he's playing for scaling. You can see tier first item there.
Yeah, and the important thing to look at, you're only going to see it on occasion here, but at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, 10 stacks. I'm sure we'll add a stat counter for Aurelion Sol in the future, but this is a new rework, so we don't quite have it in the HUD yet. But all of his abilities are going to get a little bit more powerful. We can go through it, but the TLDR of the champion is scaling, mage, really good sustained damage, really explosive moments when he has his empowered ultimate. We'll discuss more of the mechanical details as we go later, but for now, scaling, powerful.
2 minutes, 40 seconds in, and they're going to look for this bot dive. Elyoya's hovering around. They know he is on red, so they should know he's pathing down. They don't have much lockdown unless they can land the Heimer stun, but Elyoya is on his blue. They haven't warded the bush. Carzzy has a ward. Maybe they don't expect it. Looks like Bo is just going to base. Go towards his top camps. Now, the problem they have here is Vitality are going to have to give up the push soon because Bo needs to clear out these top camps, whereas Elyoya will be hovering on this bot side of the map.
I mean, good that they're not falling to the dive there, but already the pressure starting to mount. Of course, we know Carzzy and Hylissang, as we get into the mid-game, can do a lot with this duo, but early on, the pressure from a Heimerdinger Caitlyn lane is just so hard to manage. But it's a glass cannon. We've talked about it when we talk about the Caitlyn Lux. If they die, if they fall behind, they become useless very, very quickly. So just have to see if Vitality can keep the pressure up without falling down.
As a wise man once said, as useful as nipples on a man all those years ago when Caitlyn's behind in the mid-game. Doesn't have any pushing power in mid lane and just really falls apart.
I'm just going to take that one. I don't know if I agree, but I'm just going to agree
Good old
now.
Cyanide.
There you
go. So yeah, base is coming in. Want to make sure you're back out on the map. Carzzy's going to match. As much as he could push out the next wave, he wants to make sure he keeps up in tempo with enemy bot lane. And here's where the supports come into play. Kaiser's running to the lane because he needs to help Upset get the push. But this is where Hylissang can just give up bot lane a little bit because he knows he won't get the push and run around the map. Nisqy's been having this mid push for the majority of the game. It's really hard for Perkz to contest early on. Aurelion's just such a powerful scaler. They might look for a flash hook here.
No boots.
Right, the knock-up hits.
Yeah. And this is big because as, you know, boots 1, boots 2 come through, it's going to get harder and harder to land that knock-up. So not able to find it there means you're wasting a little bit of time from Elyoya and a little bit of time from Hylissang. Doesn't hurt too much because Carzzy wouldn't be approaching the wave anyway.
Yeah, so quite slow in these early stages. Neither jungler's really found any sort of play just yet. But I think the crucial thing for Mad Lions here is Nisqy just keeping that mid push, making sure he knows where Perkz is. See if Perkz looks for any roams a little bit later on, but now that Hylissang's back by his side, he's going to play a little bit aggressive.
Just walking up.
And I think in good old tradition as Upset returns, I think Caitlyn's a bit of an iconic pick to just go for, isn't it?
Yeah, let's check. We got this nice profile for all of our new players. You know, we got Upset, if you missed it. He's 23. He was on Fnatic. He's German. It reads a little bit like a Tinder profile, which we didn't plan when we asked for this graphic. But we got one for all the new players. He is married, though, so everybody chill. And this is kind of the champions that he's known for, generally. But he's a man, he said it himself, he will play what is best in the meta. Yep. He is not worried about playstyle. He's not worried about anything. He just wants to play what is strongest. And right now, Caitlyn is very strong, so not surprised to see it come out here, even if it's not on that top 5 most played champions. Yeah. Although, a bit of fighting here as Nisqy's just harassing Bo.
He was the original Forgiven follower in the Xaxaxa.
Yes.
Nisqy's just watching them do this dragon, hoping his team can collapse. Maybe they can look for some kind of pick. I mean, that's the power of mid push. You can be there first, but no bot push means that Kaiser and Upset can be there to help. Bo will get the dragon, and then they'll wrap back around towards the bot side. And all the meanwhile, Perkz has been pushing in mid.
Yeah, a bit awkward. Nisqy, of course, going to have enough mana now as he clears out this wave, courtesy of the passive there. But kind of just burned all of his mana just throwing spells at Bo, and it forces Bo to back, but I think Bo wanted to recall anyway. So awkward exchange of play. I don't love spectator dragons. Like, either fight it or don't fight it, but just kind of showing up to watch always feels weird.
Feels horrible to just see it disappear right in front of your eyes. Nothing in return.
Like, guys, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm watching him hit the dragon.
Staring menacingly.
Yeah.
As if you're ready for a fight, but nothing actually happens.
Yeah. Doing a David Attenborough cosplay. Just there to watch. Photon leaping forward.
He's gonna get him, I think.
Ghosting in, just needs to get the pullback. Pullback manages to connect on the Gnar. Big damage now coming in. Should be an easy finish. Dunk down. Photon grabbing first blood.
Photon strikes again. The top side that was so strong in the winter regular season, getting off to an early lead here. I was surprised that Photon went so early. Bo was literally in the air of blast coning, and boom, the ghost is popped. He's going. Yep. Yeah, no boots for Chasy. He just managed to pick them up on the death there. Elyoya is looking for a cross map on bot side, but of course, Bo's not here. Nisqy's moving down. Is this diveable is the question. Can they pull this off? Is there a blast cone for Nisqy? Looks like he's moving back to mid. Might be calling the play off. But Elyoya's still sticking around. He's a bit indecisive here, Nisqy. He's not quite sure if the dive is doable. Bo's just going to base and run straight bot to cover it. And they should be okay on this side of the map.
Spotted out. All is clear. Cannon wave coming in. Minion DMAC going to go onto the cannon. That doesn't feel like they can attempt the redive. They've spent so much time, and now they have to suspect that Bo is in the area.
Yeah.
Do spot him as well on the ward, excuse me. So pretty easy to stop this play in its track. Do get some pressure. Might give the time for Mad to reset, as it's only a Vamp Scepter for Carzzy, but not getting a whole lot else.
Nisqy's controlling this entrance red so well with this pink ward, just making sure Perkz is always on his toes, checking whether Nisqy's moving down there to look for the 4v3. It's hard for him to match. I feel like with this first item of the Negatron Cloak, Nisqy can just ignore everything Perkz does and just stand in front of him and push in the wave. Photon is going to find Chasy.
It looks like started the Q channel as the stun from the wall came in, so still was able to get the healing. Flight now coming out, of course.
Unlike silenced.
Yeah, so unlike old ASOL, I think you need hard CC to cancel it. So once you start the dash, it just continues forward.
Interesting. Today I learned. But yeah, Nisqy just perma mid push, just really helping out the game. Yet to see Elyoya get involved in anything, but we're going to take a look at the replay of top. So I think as Bo is in the air, Blastgun Photon just sends it. Flash Qs, gets Chasy's flash, doesn't get hit by the slow of the boomerang, pulls him in, and then Bo hits him with the slam dunk.
Yeah, right as the back end of the boomerang hits him for the slow as well, but clean play. Confident play there too. Could have been very embarrassing when you flash forward for the Darius Q and not the E.
Oh, poor Gnar.
That was brutal.
Porcelain Gnar just gets demolished by a wolf.
The contrast between when Yuumi dies in slow-mo close-up is astonishing. There you go. Kick back under the tower. The bleed's going to make sure he gets tower aggro, but he doesn't even need the shot to come through. Elyoya finding the kill on the top side.
Gets his revenge. Evens up the scoreline, evens up top side. Bo will be around, but nothing to do here. Could look for the kill onto Chasy, but he's going to evolve into Mega, so he should heal up. The ult won't be enough with the Dark Harvest to get the kill. And yeah, good play there by Elyoya, but the usage of the ult means that I think that they can look for a Herald here. Bo's probably starting it up. Hook back
on Upset is big. Instant cleanse coming out with the slow field is still down onto the ground. Trap comes in. Carzzy getting hit by the trap is disastrous. Big follow-up damage now. Carzzy has to run for the hills. Ticking. Burning. Perkz coming over the wall. He's just going to breathe fire on him. Just spits in his face. face. Carzzy taken out. Hylissang running. This is disaster. One trap. Here he goes. You can't stop the dragon. Oh my God. Bruce Lee in the mid lane.
Just comes in and picks up a double kill, flies away and refuses to elaborate. Perkz showing us the reworked Aurelion Sol to perfection. Nice roam there, but props to Upset. The amount of traps that he landed on targets that weren't even CC'd. I think Carzzy ran into one of them, but I think then he landed another onto Hilly. Nisqy will get a play team response. They're looking for a dive here, so Bo's coming in to cover Perkz because I think he's aware of some kind of play happening.
Backstep. Bo on the way. Ulti to clear. Gonna get 5 extra stacks in the back of that because he did hit the Cho'Gath. Elyoya now in trouble. Big damage. Able to make it out. Queuing over the wall of the blue buff. Heads up play from Elyoya and Nisqy backing off as well.
Hylissang's here to match in case he needs to lantern anyone out if they're in danger. Perkz gave up a couple of creeps for that. You can see that's why he's only 200 gold ahead despite getting 2 kills. Gave up creeps, gave up blades, almost 2. But we'll see this again. Look at the traps here from Upset. So really good reaction of the cleanse. This is blind. Just instantly hits, reacts really well. Then he does the E trap combo here where he E's and then puts a trap. But then Carzzy just walks straight into it, which allows the turrets to lock on because of the E connecting. Then he traps behind Hilly. And now they're kind of stuck here. Carzzy doesn't really want to flash over the wall because he's going to die anyway. And now Hylissang's also stuck because he can't go in that direction. Yep. Force him to go left. Perkz gets the flight.
Enter the dragon. There it is. Bam. I will just say that I think this champion is very cool thematically, but I hate dying to the fire breath. I hate it more than anything. It's like dying to zillion bombs where you know you're dead, but you just have to sit there and kind of like watch it happen.
I hate it when you just stand still and you're hitting him, but he's just breathing fire on you and doing more damage. Yeah. And you're just trying to kite it, but he's just following you with the fire breath. And
it's like if Fiddlesticks was a dragon. Still. Like a really fed Fiddlesticks just draining you was a dragon. That's how I feel about it.
Can you imagine if fed Fiddlesticks with like wings instead of flying around?
That would be terrifying.
Scarecrow with wings.
But be careful, Mark. I can't have the champ design team be poaching you. Oh my God, big damage. Carzzy flashing forward, full confidence. But he gets netted back.
All the
traps again.
Upset's traps. Upset's Caitlyn is on point here. Carzzy can't even move. Manages to flash away from the full all-in combo. Nice try there by Carzzy. Won't pick up the kill. And Nisqy and Hilly constantly pairing up, looking for these plays, but yeah, it's Vitality coming out on top, 4 kills to 1. You can see Nisqy, first item, Force of Nature against his double AP mid-jungle means he's so tanky, but can't get himself involved.
Credit to Upset there. Again, 2 plays in a row, able to find the trap angle that makes it work. Carzzy, 20 shurikens. If he had 200 more health and didn't hit a trap, he could have probably killed both, but doesn't get the opportunity, and now he is wildly far behind. This man needs boots. He is so hungry for this bloodthirst to survive the lane. He's just slow, but now the steal gonna come through. He just keeps breathing fire. That's the big, powerful ult. It's gonna hit just about everybody. Perkz now level 10 in the pit, ready to breathe some fire. Upset on the way in.
Gets the crab as well. Perkz is just daylight robbery over here. Dragons killing dragons. Perkz is the master of the river.
He's getting the dragon cosplay down really well.
He's getting last hits on everything.
Yeah, Smaug. He's just building a little horde here. He's just going to sit on his pile of gold and have a great time.
When are the hobbits coming?
That's a great question. Sadly, right now, Carzzy's the hobbit. He is not prepared for the conflict in front of him.
He is running. Upset's keeping him under this tower. So much damage. That's 4 plates almost over to Upset and Kaiser. Can't get the last one. He's going to greed for it, though.
He said the Forgiven cosplay, and Upset
by far
dominating. Yes, by far.
Indeed. And Bo's just pressuring here. Nisqy again. He can move down the river, but no success. Perkz on the top side.
Ooh, early ghost. Here comes Perkz flying to the air, breathing fire. Chasy has nowhere to go. Photon just waiting to push the ultimate, ticking.
Maybe he can live, actually.
Out. Bo gonna be in trouble. Body slam back. A little bit more movement speed here. Nisqy now ghosting in. TP out to safety from Chasy.
Nisqy can't find anything. Has the spellbook, swaps over to the ghost, tries to get a fight going, but Bo flashes away by the looks of it. Don't think we saw the flash, but it's been used. Let's look at this replay again. Is this the Dragon Steal? So Perkz comes in with the massive ultimate, the upgraded one. Drops it with Bo. 34 HP, slays the dragon. And then the stun knocks up Nisqy. And then they manage to get the crab as well, push Mad Lions back.
Dang. Dragon on dragon violence. Not what I expected in this game, but here we are.
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
Dragons are just cool.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, your second name is Drakos.
I mean,
like,
it's true.
Are you kidding?
I mean, I can't, I kind of just RNG'd into that. I can't really take the credit.
There's 3 dragons in this game.
Yeah. And the ones that are going to spawn, it's only going to increase, technically. There's 4. There've been 4. Carzzy having a hell of a time here.
He's having fun.
He finally got magical footwear. Okay, so that's why I didn't buy boots. Makes sense. Apologies, Carzzy.
Yeah, his bot tower is going. And this is a contrast to what happened to Vitality in the playoffs, right? I think they struggled so much in the playoffs through that bot side, whether it was playing around it or just finding drafts or lanes that worked for them. They were struggling so much, getting pushed in, losing towers, and now Vitality are just happy to just slam in a Caitlyn, slam in a Heimerdinger, push in the lane, take this tower, move their AD carry around the map. A lot more firepower to work with here.
And remember when we spoke to Upset, the Vitality he played 4 days of scrims. 3 online, 1 in person. Presumably he's played 3 more since then. But this has been a pretty impressive performance for a team that just started playing together this week. And admittedly, it is only 1 member changing. But as we saw with Koi, they changed 1 member, and they really struggled at the start of winter. So 1 member can change a lot, but it's good to see that Upset is slotting in so quickly onto this Vitality lineup. Definitely can give Vitality fans a lot of hope moving forward, whereas on the Mad side, obviously played a longer season, had a really intense best-of-5 against G2, even if they weren't able to match in a lot of circumstances. And now we need to see them find that same level if they want to come back in the game, because it's a 2K deficit and it's 2 Drakes, but it's a very fed Caitlyn.
Man trying to dive bot here. Photon has swiftness boots, no flash, no ghost.
Sidestep, gonna go in. So much CC, there's just no way he gets out of this one. Looking for the Devour. Should just take him down. No, he's still alive! He's sticking Hilly! Oh, the hook! The tower blocks it! Oh, what? Oh, Mad Lions have to be so mad about that one. Oh, man. That dive, more suspect than Odoamne's Twitter timeline. Let me tell you, not working out whatsoever. Nisqy now running. He is stronger.
He's got nowhere to go.
But there's nothing he could do.
Dunks on him. They tried the 3-man dive. Photon lives on. I'd love to know what number he lived on. That was single-digit HP.
He was ignited, too.
Hilly tries to get the hook, and then Kaiser comes in and puts the tower down. You're like, how can they... Mad Lions are up against dragons. They're up against these crazy scientists with towers. A psychopath Darius running around with a massive axe. This is some fancy lore going on here.
Yeah, this is rough.
So what happened to the dive? Because Elyoya, what he does here is he kicks to get tower aggro, lands Q, but then he tanks the tower out of range to drop, but he doesn't Q2, so they don't actually have the damage to kill him. Maybe they thought that he would die. 63 HP in the bottom left, 35, 3 HP. And Hilly goes for the hook. Kaiser realizes he can't get there in time, pops the tower down in front of it. It's just...
That's clean.
They're just making fun of him.
Yeah, that's tough. They didn't know. They didn't read the way of kings. That's shard plate, baby. Just that little bit extra health.
Brandon Sanderson
He's
right
strong,
there.
right there. Sanderson moment, certified.
Now Vitality are running away with the game. It's only a 3,000 gold lead, but map control is so in their favor. Should have 3 pushing lanes. They'll get this Herald. They have 2 Drakes. Dragon spawning in 15 seconds. See if they can get towards that soul point.
And as we get later into the game, hold that thought. Perkz
just flies away.
Flying away. Choosing when he wants to shoot, Chasy.
It's kind of cool.
You can activate and deactivate at will with 0 cooldown while you're flying.
Just flying away while shooting some fire at him.
Yeah, and he's got the super ult now, too.
Is that what we call it? The super ult?
I mean, we could call it by its name, which I believe is the Sky's Descent, which is pretty metal, but definitely hard to get out in the middle of a team fight.
You could scream it as it flies down with like a...
Tell you what, you just cast the next team fight and just all wait for that moment and I'll just scream it.
Like a camera pan with the Lee Sin skin.
Hold that thought. Carzzy getting knocked back in the face of Upset. Gale Force 4, we're going to finish that kill. Herald now coming to the mid lane.
My man's getting headbutted by the massive scuttle crab now as well. Photon's popped the ghost.
He's on the chase.
No flash on Hilly.
He's about to walk into 4 people. No Hex Flash for Hylissang this time around. They're just going to sacrifice Thresh.
Good night, sweet prince.
Over the wall.
Oh, here it comes.
Here comes Sky's Descent.
Well,
doesn't do anything.
That was underwhelming.
But it looked sick.
It looks really cool. I think the coolest thing is the minimap, because you just see this massive ring of explosion covering the radius. But yeah, 0-3-0 for both these this bot laners here for Mad Lions. Good player on the bot side. Good cover from Bo. Good roams by Perkz.
Yeah. And on the side of Mad Lions, you know, Nisqy doing well to get so much pressure in the early game. I think as expected in this matchup, he now has enough MR that he can ignore a lot of what the Aurelion Sol does. But a lot of these individual side lane leads, like we talked about at the start of the game, starting to just kind of overwhelm Mad here. Carzzy.
Oh, it's a little basketball or something, isn't it? A little volleyball from the Heimer into the massive jar.
This is just, that's the spring break combo right there. Oh my Volleyball into a keg, you're just bam, you're out.
What about the massive headbutt from this?
That one I can't comment on. Haven't seen that one, personally.
And then Photon comes in, pulls Hilly out of his Hex Flash, and then drops him with the... Are we going to get the... No, we're not. We're just going to get the Slam Dunk.
Here we go. Then the Sky's Descent.
I think is this the Storm Dragon? No, it's not the Storm Dragon skin, is it?
I think it might be one of the Storm Dragon chromas.
Where the Lee Sin
comes down for like 1 frame? Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Because they've got Lee Sin on their team, and then they just like slam him with a Lee Sin.
Get out of there, Chasy. He has to flash. Look at the damage. And reminder, okay, so he has 256 stacks. All of his abilities get stronger with stacks. Q gets more damage, E gets bigger radius, and Chasy!
It's the College special!
Gets dunked! My God, the Spring Break combo. Looking nasty.
Oh, this is brutal, isn't it? Vitality are just
This man
Messing.
doesn't even have a chance to get a hangover. He's just permanently just...
Comes out of base and just gets slammed back into it.
Yeah.
Nothing he can do. Well, Mad Lions will get a tower.
That's a positive. Objective Mountie coming over. I'm gotta say, very impressive game for Vitality thus far. Bo, high impact on the top side of the map. Bot lane winning out as expected, but also some missteps, I think it's safe to say, from Carzzy. Overall now, 5k gold lead, 1 dragon difference, but 3 towers to 1. This feels to me like very heavily Vitality favored. I think as we get later, Caedrel, we could maybe argue that the front to back is easier for Mad Lions to pull off.
Don't do it to me.
You ready? The caster, the absolute desperation caster, like silver lining.
Sniffing all that copium.
If they just walk in 5v5 front to back with 4 items, Mad Lions can win.
Surely. Surely we'll see it.
Why they would ever do that, I don't know. But if it does happen, Mad Lions can win.
Well, they're trying to defend this top tier one. It's a bit risky, but they're going to go for a fight.
Knockup going to come through. Good damage. You have to burst this guy down once again. Photon managing to get out. He's just teasing him.
They just have so much range, so much disengage. Here comes Bo.
And the AoE from Perkz. Perkz has been stacking like a fiend here.
Bo could throw a massive bomb by here. 5 seconds on the ult. It's going to be an explosion. He's not going to do it.
The AoE is massive at this stage. Perkz does not have the super ult charged up, but can still get a lot of impact out of the regular one.
They have 2 Rylais and a Stride Breaker, so you're permanently slowed. Then they have all this disengage.
How are you ever going to hit
And
Caitlyn?
all the range.
Caitlyn doesn't even have IE yet. It's only going to get harder.
Yeah, it is. Mad Lions just kind of have to group up and hope that Vitality make a mistake. See if they go a bit too deep in their jungle, but looks like they responded to the play pretty well. No TP on Chasy now. The only disadvantage of this Darius is he doesn't have TP, so he has to kind of play on this top side of the map.
Yeah.
Looking for Perkz.
I also take it back. I don't know if they can win front to back. Aurelion Sol does a lot
How
of
can
work.
they catch him? He's got Perkz Airlines.
There it is.
This man has air
Boom.
miles.
Dead. Hylissang.
How broken is that?
The
You can just call an asteroid from the sky.
Yeah, it's pretty busted.
That's pretty crazy.
Like, Lee Sin's just a dude with fists.
And he's blind.
And he can't see. He's
And
just
there's a massive...
The dragon that makes stars is just bullying him. All right, lore battle not going great for the Mad Lions. Nisqy tries to flash out to safety, but still gets knocked back to the wall and dunked down. Summary execution here in the jungle as Vitality continue to pull further and further ahead. And this is just early game mistakes compounding over the course of this game. There's just not a lot of room for Mad Lions to play at this deficit with the opposing team comp in mind.
It is slightly unplayable, I must say, for Mad. The thing is, they have so much single target damage that if they can get onto one target together, maybe they'll get a kill, but Vitality have so much splash damage, you know? Massive Heimer ults coming across, Gragas ult, Aurelion Sol.
I mean, the AoEs just get bigger. Again, Aurelion Sol scaling is nuts.
You just press your buttons and it's all collateral damage.
Yeah.
There's nowhere you can really go, but we saw the Aurelion Sol in the LCS, we're seeing it here, and it's only really gonna get worse, isn't it? The meteor,
He's got
the asteroid just gets bigger.
319 stacks.
He's creating a star, and
Like, look how big that AoE is.
It just gets bigger throughout the game. 324 stacks, yeah. Man trying to sneak a Nash over the wall, I think. I mean, they can. Hook over, Lantern over the Aphelios, yeah, just flip it. But Perkz is there.
Perkz has empowered ult.
He could just ult them.
I think he just... Can Perkz kill everybody? I'm not sure.
Elyoya's gone.
Time to find out. Elyoya says, guys, that's an Aurelion Sol with empowered ult. It's time to get out of the pit. Get out of the pit, boys!
Get out of there!
Oh my gosh!
Carzzy's
what are they doing? Oh my god! The Aurelion Sol damage! He couldn't click the lantern, and now he's going to die. Hylissang taken out as well. It is clean from Upset. It's a slaughter. There's nothing to do. Nisqy running. Elyoya running. Vitality not even turning the Baron. Instead, just happy with these kills. One more dragon. He's just doing bombing runs through the Mad Lions jungle.
It's just... Chasy's laughing, just
like, what can you do at this point?
It's so lost, this game. Like, I don't blame them for trying to four-man sneak a Nash, but like...
And you have 2 more days ahead of you. You have to laugh it off. You know, I mean, these best of ones matter, but you can't let this be the one that breaks your mental. It was a rough early game.
I wanted Perkz to drop the ult a little bit earlier, just so I could see them all just get decimated.
Yeah.
But it was Carzzy who fell victim. A little bit, he was like, you know what, Lantern's up soon, right? You know, I don't have to use my flash, right? And then all of a sudden, an explosion of light landed on his head.
Yeah.
And then his screen went gray.
Did you see that movie where it's like the dystopian future where dragons show up and then mankind can't like survive? And that guy has to jump off a tower with an axe and try to fight a dragon?
Sounds like Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, kind of.
Is it the boss where you have to like jump off the bridge? And,
no,
like,
that's also a good reference. I can't remember what that movie is called, and I feel bad because it's already a kind of a boomer reference because I'm pretty sure that movie's ancient. Anyway,
well, we'll figure it out after the game.
We'll let it go.
We'll figure it out after the game. There's lots of films with dragons.
There is.
I feel like dragons are just iconic.
You know?
Perkz.
Yeah, Perkz. Every time he kills a dragon, I wonder if he feels bad.
Just slaying his own kind.
Yeah.
Could make a movie out of that.
Probably.
Make a movie out
Or
of
the
this.
Dark Souls 1 intro. Shout out to Seath the Scaleless, betraying his own. Elyoya can't walk up. Vitality are breaking the tower, and this game is over.
Shocker.
Mad Lions managed to mount a comeback. It will
Watch
be a
out, keep
miracle.
flash. Oh,
Big
yeah.
kick into the hook, into the knockback, into the knockup. Ulti.
They're stunned from
Damage.
the ult.
Stunned. They cannot click on Perkz. They so desperately want to click on the dragon, but it will not happen. Massive execute going to come in on the Nisqy. Good damage now going through. Bo on a rampage. Carzzy's got no space to play with. The root coming in is nice, but Vitality just going to continue the siege here as Photon makes it personal.
But he's got Deadmans. He's a fast Darius. Look at him go.
Once he turns Mega,
His
Chasy can't
100-meter
keep running.
dash is really good. I don't know if Chasy's
He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to let him back. He's just gonna hit him with the question mark thing. It's not a Yordle. I don't know what that thing is. If someone wants to tell me, I'd be happy to find out. Carzzy dead. No.
Maybe.
No.
No. Maybe.
Yes.
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 Dead.
All right.
Likely dead. Yeah. No.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Chasy
Maybe.
shut down. Hey, that's
Big.
one. Might
We
not
can
win the game, but you
Don't
take the
FF, don't
1v1.
FF, we can win.
There it is. Yes, Berlin. Yes, let him know. Embarrass Photon. Outplayed.
They just doubled their damn kills.
That's good. That's a start.
Double cloth armor from that kill. Winnable?
You know, we gotta get like the trailer vibes going. From the smallest moments come the greatest, the fire inside of you, and
you can do it with the Mega Gnar evolution.
And the sports.
The smallest creature, and then he just evolves into like the Mega Gnar and starts roaring.
Yep, sick. Got a trailer.
Again,
Ready to go.
Movie.
If they mount a comeback, it will certainly be movie level quality because they are down. They are out. Everything is stacked against them. They're like the Mighty Ducks if the Mighty Ducks couldn't play hockey. This is hard. Probably impossible.
Challenge accepted.
The Flying V, boys.
Can they pull it off?
They'll figure it out.
They're going to get a red buff as well. Or are they?
Oh, yeah, they will. They will.
Just short.
Again, small victories. Small victories. Elyoya getting the red buff.
A couple more inches, Kaiser had that.
True.
2 nips down. Yeah, 5k gold lead in mid. Full tank Cho'Gath. I mean, it's good, but it doesn't...
Again, I feel like the philosophy here from Mad Lions, I get it. It's like, win early mid skirmishes, when itemization isn't a big thing, let Carzzy be your damage threat.
Yep.
Great. Problem is, Carzzy died a bunch, and you didn't get a lot done on the top side either.
0-11. Do you think there's some Aphelios Thresh lives being pinged here?
Probably.
I'd be doing that in solo queue.
There it is.
Lantern to cover the ult. But good debut game from Vitality.
Fantastic
Revamped roster.
And we're getting to see
some
new
where
picks.
we say Vitality's going to win Worlds?
Ooh, is it? Do you want to go out on the limb?
Do we overreact on this?
Yeah, you could. I mean, Worlds is far away, but if you want to go for it, I got your back. I mean, I don't, but...
There's the E upgrade from Aurelion Sol. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
Just
the ulti is also going to be massive. Hylissang going in. His team told him not to, but that means he wants it even more. He goes down.
Bomba.
Big knockup, big knockback. Mad Lions being pushed away. Again, they have to try and defend, but there are no right choices here.
Is this like the 300 now? Do we swap films?
We could. I don't think
who's got the spear? Who's throwing it?
I think Carzzy's Leonidas right now. This is where we hold them. This is where they throw explosive alcohol at me, I think is the quote.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that one. Okay, jump in, pull back. Big damage. Nisqy running. Follow up, instantly dunked down. Gale Force forward for very little damage. The tanky Cho'Gath will live. Leonidas has died. In direct contradiction to the film.
In their base.
This is tough.
How unplayable is that?
That's rough. Knock up. Photon still alive.
But Chasy though, those cloth armors.
Chasy. This is his moment. Maybe.
This is playing dodgeball.
Hook gonna knock him back into the fountain. Yes! The unseen sixth man! Oh, good win.
Oh. Yeah, well, the thing is, as much as we had a bit of fun that game, the game was pretty much doomed from around the 10-15 minute mark. Their champions scale better, they have more collateral in team fights, you don't have single target damage pick when you have no control of the game. I think Mad were laughing at this game past 15 minutes as well.
Well,
they realized it was just doomed. You know, it was a quick remake, honestly.
If they could have shut down the Caitlyn or the Darius, maybe there's an angle because of how much time Aurelion Sol needs. But I think Aurelion Sol is really strong right now. We saw how impactful the champion could be as Perkz was just everywhere on the map. So, yeah, it feels like Vitality just had Mad's number this time around.
And props to Vitality. They drafted 2 explosive side lanes. They controlled them well without having mid-push, and they managed to snowball the game through those sides really easily. Bo playing top side, Perkz covering bot.
Also, without knowing what Vitality were scrimming, with the short amount of time they had to prepare, it's impressive that they pulled together a composition like that so convincingly. Darius on the top side is something you have to get used to playing. Not having an instant TP, you know, it's a very different play style, and they still made it work, made it look good. So super promising start for the Vitality boys.
It is indeed. 2 more games to play. Of course, Upset's strange to this new schedule, but he's got tomorrow and Monday as well to show off the performance. And I think Vitality started off 3-0 in Winter in their first week.
Yeah.
They looked good. They finished first in the regular season, looking to repeat that. And yeah, a couple of things to rethink here from Mad. I like the Cho'Gath mid. I think it worked in lane really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing to be done about.
I think maybe they weren't entirely ready for the Darius. It's possible. They had to pivot at the last second. I mean, without knowing their draft strategy, it's hard to say, but certainly we know this is the team that will come back stronger. Player of the game at LEC on Twitter, however, is Perkz, Upset, or Kaiser.
I liked Upset's traps, but I mean,
if I could vote for Bo and Kaiser at the same time for the spring break combo, I would.
Perkz was playing a dragon.
Perkz played a literal dragon. Like a literal dragon.
Like an actual dragon.
It makes stars.
And fire. And black holes.
In this case, it crushed dreams, but...
How does he fly without wings?
I don't know.
Maybe gravity doesn't exist for him.
It's possible. He can make a star.
That sounds balanced.
Laure's like ready to go, and I'm not sure if we're supposed to toss.
All ready to go?
Yeah, Laure's ready. Okay, Laure, Kaiser, what do you think about dragons? Sorry, I'm just ruining your interview. Don't have to take that question.
We will disregard what this guy said just now. Kaiser, thank you so much for joining me. A mega stomp against Mad Lions today. Your ex-team, so you must be feeling good about this, I hope.
It feels kind of good, yeah. It definitely feels kind of good. Of course, I'm good friends with a lot of them, right? So it feels extra good. Carzzy was like shit-talking a bit in the toilet, you know, and stomping him feels really nice.
Fantastic, and especially coming so strong after Winter Split. The expectations are high now, even higher, I would say, with Vitality, with Upset joining. What do you make of this?
I mean, we don't really care about expectations. I think Upset is like a great player, right? I mean, everyone knows that. Like, he's always been top 2 ADC in the league, sometimes top 1, right? Of course, it's a lot of pressure for us as well. But I think we try to not let it affect us, and we just try to play our game. And yeah, it showed today.
What are the learnings after Winter Splits? Because best of 1s were super fine, and then best of 3 happens, and we know how it went. Talk me through it.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say our best of 1s were fine. I think we could have lost a lot of games that we like somehow snuck a win in. Like, I'm not sure, but I think we always kind of struggled with our previous team. Of course, we knew that with 2 imports, the communication wouldn't be like as good from the start, right? And they're improving steadily, and I think Upset has helped a lot as well with like shot calling in general, and just being like a rock on bot lane, right? And I think it's definitely like short of some weaknesses that we had previously, and yeah.
It's a working process, and we knew that it could take some time for Vitality. And now I want to touch on the Deutsche bot lane, of course, because it's been one of the main focus points for Vitality so far. Upset is waiting on the other side of the studio at the desk with Yamato. Anything you want to tell your new AD carry, and how has it been working with him?
I mean, it's been working out really great. I think I'm kind of surprised actually how well we click. I mean, maybe it's because we are both German, I'm not sure, even though we always speak in English anyway. But yeah, it's been working out great. I think he's really vocal, which I think I work fine with, because I usually like to do my own thing a bit, and I think he's a really good planner. So like, he usually calls a lot of stuff, and he has strong opinions. So I think that really helped our like whole team, I would say, because like sometimes we are a bit clueless what to do, you know. And I think he kind of has like that so much experience, right? And he just like has a really strong idea how to play the game, and I think that helped us a lot. You
were saying that he was always like a top 2, top 3 AD carry. I want to know, when you used to watch Upset play from the outside, now that you get to play with him, what are the main differences and maybe misconceptions that you had, or expectations that you had towards him?
Honestly, nothing really changed.
Right.
I think like when I played against him, like, it always felt really hard to like land skill shots, you know, or like his wave his wave control was always like almost perfect, you know, like he kind of knows what to do with each wave. Like and now that I play with him, like I kind of get why, right? Like, he always talks about waves. He really likes improving, right? Like, he's always down to like talk about matchups, always talks about like what we could have done better after scrims, right? And I think I really like that, because it just helps us improve so much as a bot lane as well. And yeah, it's just been really great. I honestly see you guys becoming super strong over the weeks. Kaiser, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you. And Upset, Sjokz, and Yamato, back to you at the AD.
Thank you. Don't jinx it, Laure. We do have Upset here, and we have more of this duo, which I really enjoyed pre-game. That was great.
That was fun.
So, Yamato, what do you want to ask Upset now?
Honestly, I'm curious. It's like everyone knows you're Smurf AD, you know? I want you to tell me, in these few days that you've practiced with your team, what kind of role have you taken in terms of, you know, some of the things that we don't see when it comes to the gameplay?
Yeah, I think last split Vitality struggled with some direction from bot lane, or at least that's how it looked from outside. So I really wanted to bring that into the team. I think I do that well in every team I play in, that if the team wants to play through bot lane or snowball the games through bot, that I'm ready for it and I can take over the game and lead. And I think that was my main aim, and it worked out well today.
No, for sure. I really like the Caitlyn Heimerdinger, the preparation. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to lane against Aphelios Thresh, it's always about the weapons, the purple guns coming. I felt that you guys maneuvered it so well. Could you elaborate on what some of the thought processes are when you're facing up against this lane? Because you chose a very specific base timer that I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, basically in this game, the early game, they can maybe look to flash on you level 1 because we play cleanse and they feel, but otherwise we have free push because Caitlyn can Q the wave and Aphelios doesn't have a spell. But once he gets the purple weapon and our jungle wanted to go topside, we just decided to base. Even though usually it's good to keep poking because we were getting their potions down early. But we just decided to base because that's kind of the only window they can take. And then once our jungle is bot side, even if they were to set up a gank with purple weapons, we will win 3v3. So we basically just played around that. We took a Drake. This game, our dragon in mid lane didn't have as much prio as the Cho'Gath monster. So we had to play like smart, and I think we did a pretty good job of getting the things done that we need to get done on bot when we play this lane, like taking the dragon and plates, but at the same time not giving their mid lane anything. So yeah, we did a good job. I don't know what your question was. We did well.
No, for sure. I think the fact that you dodged the ganks and managed to find the right base timings, I think was also important. Like Elyoya dodged the ward that you placed on the red, but you guys were fully aware of the fact that he's pathing into bots, and I think that's essential, right? Often people associate Caitlyn with like you need to snowball your lane or something like this, but in the context of Aphelios Thresh, like you're going to be super strong as the game progresses. With
I mean, they kind of did that for us. The snowballing. They were playing very aggressive. It was like playing with 2 Hylissangs this game. I enjoyed it.
Unfortunately, we got like one of those Hylissang games. Oh, it was rough for Carzzy and Hilly, right?
I think I can speak to Hilly's mentality a little bit. I think that if he feels like, I think from draft, if they don't get ahead in this game, I think this game will be insanely hard to play. I think as like he found that one hook, it's like you're playing against a cleanse, Caitlyn, and also a Heimerdinger. To find angles where you can all in or do something is so difficult. He found one hook, they tried to do something, but then Trap God just you know, covered the whole river with spring traps and cupcakes, and they walked into them.
So would you have drafted it differently?
I think
Yamato would have won draft.
Probably, yeah. I would have left Yuumi open. I would pick Lucianami 1-2, and then probably like Azir for Perkz. Never mind, he's on the other team. You know, that's why I'm here with the tracksuit. You would have made him pick
Azir anyways.
Probably, yeah. I would have like pointed at him across the stage.
So Kaiser was asked about playing with you, and he was praising you a lot, also in terms of kind of the things you contribute at a game as well. But what was it like on your side to play with Kaiser?
I think I've been seeing that he's been getting a lot of flag last split, and some things he did definitely do wrong, but I'm honestly surprised by his skill level. Like, I always knew, especially like in 2021, that he was really smart about the game and really good at engages, but his baseline skill level is actually pretty high. I think people got the wrong impression from the last split, but it's always like this. I think if you have a bad split, then the reaction is always very extreme. The same if you have a good split. But yeah, I'm really happy so far. I think we haven't been playing so long together, but he's like really good mechanically, and he's playing a lot of solo queue, so I'm really happy.
And the German synergy.
Yeah, and we're both German.
Yeah, that's great.
I guess.
Talking about kind of, you say the reaction of people, which I think is very true. Like, it swings so much in one side or the other. And I think looking at your performance in that context of summer, which was stellar, from your perspective, how from a mental perspective did you go through the winter split where you were on the side, and how do you make sure that your motivation is there? Because I think everyone can see that you deserve to be on a team. But that must be incredibly hard to kind of work through.
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult time for me because I was so used to playing. I think my family and my wife helped me a lot through this time to like stay positive in my mind that the new opportunity will come. So I got to spend a lot of time with them, and that was the thing keeping me more sane, I think, because I still played, of course, a lot of League because I really want to compete. It was not like, it was just an unfortunate situation to keep it short for the desk.
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that helped me connecting, grounding myself, and then still putting in the work because I really love to play League. So it was fun as well.
It shows. And congratulations on your first victory with Vitality. We're hoping to many, many more. And we'll be back after the break with Astralis versus Koi. But first, let's enjoy the Warner song of the week. First, Just Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert. See you after this.
It's crazy.
Okay, Carzzy, what do you have for us today?
I have nothing for my own safety.
Okay, no Ubo checks.
That's smart. That's the first smart thing you do this year. I'm changing my personality.
The pullback manages to connect with Gnar. Big damage now coming in. Should be an easy finish. Dunk down. Photon grabbing first blood. He is so hungry for this bloodthirst to survive the lane. He's just slow, but now the steal gonna come through. It just keeps breathing fire.
Oh, I think he will give one shot, maybe. But he has not. We can fire, bro.
Oh, what?
Go behind.
Oh my god, you're good. I'm not there. Okay, let's look at Aphelios. Yeah, I can look. We can feel it. Yeah.
That was such a great game.
It was amazing. I can't wait to see what happens in Picks and Bans in the next one.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
What's up, guys? Guys, I was saving that for later. I called dibs.